What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. So this is Psych 3. This is Gus. And it's always great to come back to this show slash now movie series. Psych is amazing. And if you haven't watched Psych, then go watch it now. It's on Peacock. If you don't have Peacock, then go buy it, because Psych and Monk are both absolutely worth it, because both of them are on Peacock. So go do it. But yeah, so first of all, I'll give my spoiler free, if, I don't really know if there's much to talk about outside of the spoiler stuff, but I mean, yeah, just overall, it's a very fun movie. A lot of touching moments in it as well. And it's nice how they balance the both. You have your touching moments, but you also have your fun psych moments as well. And it's just, these characters are so well written and so well acted, and it's such a nice time whenever you see the gang get back together type of thing. So, yeah, having a lot of fun watching all of these TV movies that are coming out. As far as this one is concerned, if you've seen the first two, if you've seen the series, I absolutely recommend it. It's got everything you love about Psych. It's got references, it's got great humor, it's got good moments, it's got a fun little mystery as well. The mystery itself is not as, I guess, mind twisting or anything like that. Like, the first two didn't have a great mystery either. The first one was decent enough, and then the second one, I honestly feel like I've forgotten what the mystery was now. I just remember that Lassiter moment at the end. But yeah, really, the mystery on this one kind of takes a back seat to a lot of character moments. So if you're in it for the mystery, if you want to see something that's like super, oh, I've really got to think about this movie may not be for you. But if you love Psych as much as I do, then it's just nice to see these characters interact off each other again, and I feel like you'll have a good time. So, yeah, it's kind of my spoiler-free thing. So if you don't want any spoilers, click off the video now. Bye. Hello to everyone who wants to hear spoiler talk. Yeah, so obviously this is all, based on Gus trying to, well, mostly Sean trying to find out about Selene's past husband, because Gus really just kind of wants to leave it alone, just like, don't care, Sean. But yeah, all in all, just a lot of fun moments in this. But first I'll talk about the touching moments, because there are a lot of really kind of heart-rending scenes in this. You've got, again, more scenes with Lassiter. I'm glad he got to be very involved, and, he's up on his feet, he's walking, and it's just great to see, Timothy having such a good recovery that he's able to act in something again. And admittedly, his acting still is a bit stilted, but I'm not gonna like say, oh, I can't believe he's such a bad actor now. It's just, he had a stroke, like, it's just amazing to see him even trying to be a part of this. Like, it blows me away watching him in these scenes. Like, his talking is a bit rushed, but you can still tell that he's still just got that sense about him that he knows how to handle himself in a scene. So it's not the best, but I wouldn't expect it to be after what he's been through. So I'm just glad to see him. I'm glad that he's doing well enough to where he feels like he can be a part of this and, actually act again. So yeah, I love watching it, and any scene with him just always kind of touches me right here in my heart. So, but yeah, some of the stuff with, Gus and Selene, decent enough. We've seen Gus kind of rush into this, and just like all of his past relationships, he's rushed into something more than what he can handle. So they have a few funny moments with that, but it's nice to see at the end they have their moment where they have the baby and they're married, and it's a nice moment for them. So good to see that. Scenes with Karen in this, yeah, of all the characters that I thought they were going to really dive in and have emotional scenes with, I did not expect it to be Karen. But yeah, she had some really touching scenes in this, and it's weird because I will admit it does feel like this was written in a sense of some of these stories are going to carry over into the fourth movie. Obviously with the main bad guy, Decker, well, not main bad guy, but obviously he gets away. So he's probably going to come back at some point. But there were a couple scenes. So you have Karen's story where she sees that her family is like doing stuff without her, and she feels like she's focusing more on work than being with them. but it doesn't really go anywhere. You know, they have that moment in the woods, and then we don't really hear anything else about it. At least not that I can remember. If they mentioned it, it was very quick. So it feels kind of weird that they brought that up but didn't really have a resolution. So that I'm wondering if it's going to come back up in the next movie. Sean and Jules. So they, talking about kids and stuff. They don't want kids, but then all of a sudden Jules has this moment where she's just like, well, actually, I don't know, maybe that's just too final. And they have a moment where it's just kind of like, do they want kids? Are they rethinking it now that Gus and Selene are going to have a kid? Or is this just something that maybe Juliet's just in the moment, all the emotion, she's just, oh, maybe I do want a kid. That baby fever whenever somebody else is having a kid. Is that what's going on? But then they have a scene later where Sean's talking to his dad about it. And his dad's just like, wait, you guys have to rethink this. So he's not happy about them not having kids. But then, again, doesn't get resolved. We see Sean at the end helps deliver the baby, and I was like, are they going to do it where because he touched the kid and he's just like, oh my gosh, but no, they just do the funny scene where he's just freaking out because he's got baby goo all over his hands, which was hilarious, and him crying is just, it was perfect. But again, no resolution there, no talk about, yeah, we've definitely decided we don't want kids, just kind of left up hanging in the air, and maybe it will be taken forward, maybe not, I don't know. So that's what I'm saying, like, it feels like some of these stories, there was no resolution, but I don't know if that's because they plan to talk about it in the next movie, or if they just forgot to write out a resolution. Maybe they did and they filmed it, but they just were like, oh, we're at 2 hours now we got to cut it down to an hour and a half, and maybe that's what happened. But yeah, so emotional scenes, though, were good. Very well handled. It did get me. I felt something, so very well acted as well, too. The funny scenes, definitely the strong point. I'm glad, too, that they explained some of them because I'll admit, as much as I love the references, some of them do go over my head because I haven't seen everything in the world. Shocking, I know. But yeah, like the fact that they described the Take On Me music video, and then at the end they were doing apparently the music video for Last Christmas. Stuff that I probably would not have known if not for giving them giving me some help, because Decker is just like, that sounds like the plot for the Take On Me music video. I'm like, okay, that's what that's from. I knew they were probably making a reference to something, but I didn't know what, so thank you for telling me. And then, calling it Previous Holiday, I'm like, okay, so this is obviously a reference to probably the Last Christmas music video. And then I went and I looked it up and I saw pictures from it. I'm like, yes, that is what they were parodying. So fun to see that. And it's just, the references in the show were always some of the best. So I'm glad that they do a good job of having those references in there. And at least for some of us that don't understand the reference, trying to give us a hint of, like, if you know something about it, you'll kind of get it. But if you don't know anything about it, like there was one he was talking about when they were describing when Derek, was it Derek? No, Decker. When Decker was describing what was going on with this evil CEO, and they were talking about the villain from that one movie, I had no idea what they were talking about, so just like, okay, I don't get it. But anyways, on to the weakest part of this for me, and that is the mystery. The mystery, I guess. There was a decent mystery up to a point. Up to the point where they met Decker, I enjoyed it. Because there was kind of this, what is going on? What is Selene hiding from Gus? Like, she's obviously hiding a past, and then they find the fake IDs and all of this. So that part of it was fun, and then they meet him, and, there was some fun banter between him and Gus, and him describing what's going on. It's like, okay, that makes sense. But then things kind of go a little, I don't know, out the door as far as the mystery is concerned, and kind of the overarching plot of them trying to take this guy down so that Selene and Decker can not be on the run anymore. Because first of all, it doesn't really feel like she was on the run, just him. Like, it felt like she never felt like she was in any danger. He was the one that felt that way. So I'm just like, okay, so was he just overthinking it maybe and just thought they were in a lot of danger and they weren't? I don't know. Like, that was a little lost on me. But then they go through this whole plan of getting in there, and then they do. And Karen and Juliet, they go in as well, and Selene ends up going in after them. And it's just, I don't know, there was a lot of moving pieces, and it felt like none of it really amounted to much. Because Decker goes in and shoots the guy, the bull, and then he's about to shoot Sean and Gus to frame them, and Selene comes in, and then they stop him. And it's just, I don't know, it felt kind of anticlimactic. Like, I thought they were going to try to do something to take down the bull, or maybe it was like the figurehead, the guy that they had in the newspaper, he wasn't the bull. It was actually, somebody else that was running the operation under his nose type of thing. But no, it was just Decker shot him, and that was it. And then he tried to shoot Sean and Gus, and that was it. And they stop him. And then Karen and Juliet, they go in, and I'm thinking, okay, they're going to step in and save the day at the last minute, but they don't. We see Karen punch one security guard in the face, and then she finds Juliet, and then they're just kind of walking around, and then eventually they find Sean and Gus with Selene giving birth. I'm just like, what was the point of them being there then? Because, whenever they had that scene in the woods, Karen was like, oh, those guys won't be able to do anything without us. What did you guys do when you got there? Like, did they take out a whole security team that they just decided not to show us? Because we only saw her punch one guy, and we saw 2 or 3 other security guards, maybe? So how many did they take down? And I don't know. It felt very weird. And then that final scene when she was giving birth had some funny moments, but also was a little goofy. It kind of was on the verge. There were times where it was like, that's funny. And then there were times where I'm like, okay, it's a little goofy. And maybe they were referencing something that I didn't get. But, like when Father Wesley kept going into the Exorcist speech, like it was funny at first, but then he did it like 2 or 3 more times. I'm just like, okay, it's not as funny anymore, Kurt Smith being involved was funny at first, and then he just kind of felt like a tacked on thing. And then I guess it was setting up for a funny music video at the end when they parodied Last Christmas, but I don't know, it just felt kind of weird that he was there and just wasn't really playing anything, I don't know, just kind of there. But yeah, I don't know. It's just everything with that final part from when they leave with Decker to do the plan to the end when they're in the room and Selene is giving birth. There was just a lot of moments that felt kind of pointless and moments that felt like they didn't really go anywhere. And I don't know. I wish there was something more. There was something else, because there's a lot of downtime in there. There's honestly a lot of time just spent there, probably about a good 5 to 10 minutes, that I feel like could have been cut out and used for another scene to maybe explain a bit more plot, or maybe, have more character development, maybe add another extra layer to the mystery that we didn't originally know about. But as it was just kind of filler, just kind of pointless, and a couple decent jokes, but mostly just kind of just sitting around waiting. So, yeah, it didn't ruin anything for me, but it was definitely not what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't quite the finale that I was hoping for. It was kind of a lackluster finale, and it left me wanting more. And because I don't know when the next Psych movie is going to be, it's probably going to be another 2 years before the next one comes out. I'm just kind of sitting here waiting and biding my time to see what are they going to do next. So, yeah, just that's how it is. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Could have had a better ending. But, it's still Psych. Still great characters. Still fun to watch them in action. Still fun jokes. Fun references. What's not to like? So, but anyways, that's it for me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this Psych movie? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Psych movie reviews, and I'll see you guys at the next one, whenever that is. Peace out.